Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are fresh off the aeroplane back from Japan. So if you don't mind your host looking a little bit homeless, let's get right into this video. Japan, the home of anime, samurais, not that type of samurai editor, vending machines, and also some of our favourite RC brands. So if you're like me and you're planning your first holiday to Japan, and you want to visit a few RC shops but you're not 100% sure where to go on your first trip, this is the video for you. This is going off if you're first time visiting Japan. A lot of tourists follow what is called the Golden Route. So that is Tokyo, Osaka and Kyoto. So we're basing off within them areas. So first on our list is my personal favourite, to the point where it will be getting its own video later on, but it is Blockhead Motors. This place is 30 minutes away from Tokyo Station by a train and about a 10-minute walk from this station. I'm not going to try and pronounce it because I will absolutely butcher the Japanese language. This shop is very, very well hidden. It is above a golf shop with a little staircase to the side. You will not notice it unless, of course, they've got their little A-frame sign out the front, because we nearly walked past it without spotting the sign. But as soon as you go upstairs, this is just... you're just greeted with 80s, 90s... Tamiya aesthetics. This is just heaven, thanks to one man in particular, Jun Watanabe, the man behind the Blockhead Motors livery scheme on the Wild One, the Hot Shot 2, and a very questionable cow patterned one on the Hornet. I don't know how I feel about that one. It's a bit of a weird one compared to the other two. But one thing, if you're a Tamiya collector, I really recommend visiting and buying one of the 3 cars I've just mentioned, because you can get a signed version there, which I'm assuming is the only place you can get them. And I'm assuming it probably adds a little value to the kit and, well, rarity. And on a side note, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than the next place on our list, which seems to be everyone's favourite place to visit, the Tamiya Plastic Model Factory. Being about 10 minutes train ride away from Tokyo Station makes it one of the easiest ones to find on this list. When we visited, sadly, it was coming to the end of our trip, so everything we'd already bought, we were very, very close to our weight limit on the suitcases, so we didn't actually buy much bar from a couple of stickers while we were there. But they seem to be very well stocked, from merchandise to upgrades to spare parts to model kits to truck kits to... at the point we visited, they even had a mini 4-wheel drive track out and about in the display centre, and they also had a full-size replica of the mini 4-wheel drive in the cafe. But if you're struggling to find any spare parts, not a lot of people seem to talk about it, but literally if you go out of the shop across the main road, there is another little Tamiya shop which just stocks spares. Like if you're looking for one specific part tree, they seem to have a lot, or a spare body, or even a painted spare body. At this point in the holiday, I was really hoping they had actually released the Tamiya Honda City Turbo, the RC one. They had the kit for sale in the shop, but I really wanted the RC one, and I was probably going to get it posted home. But funnily enough, it literally a couple days well, it was kind of while we were on the flight, and I'm still a bit hazy on what day it is right now. Literally a couple days ago, they had just released it at a German toy convention, so I guess I'm going to have to wait until it becomes a public release. So, moving on to number 3 on the list. Superrakajin. I'm probably butchering that name, but oh well. This shop nearly brought me to tears. We visited both the Osaka and Akihabara shop, and I really admit I want a shop like this in the UK. There was literally aisles after aisles after aisles of spare parts, kits, from a lot of well-known Japanese brands and a few Western brands as well. They had parts from Tamiya, Kyosho, Free Racing, Yokomo, etc. And the real kicker is in the Osaka location. If you're into drifting like I am, they had a real scale, a 1/10 scale drift track. All the little buildings on the side, all the grass verge, all the crash barriers. This looks like it's a permanent concrete setup. On the other case, in the Akihabara location, they did have space for a track, but at the time it seemed to be racing the Kyosho Mini Zs. And the price. The price in this place, I did some looking at some rims for my drift car. You're looking at, over here in the UK, you're looking at 15-20 quid for a pair of rims or etc. Over there on the shelf in front of me, you're looking at rims for like a £5 for a pair. Some of the big name brands, which once you get them here, the reseller price, the price of shipping, etc. adds it up to God knows what. But I think next time we do go back, we're going to hit there first. So, moving on to number 4 on the list is TamTam hobby shop in Akihabara. Set on the main street in Akihabara, it's very hard to miss. It's a big building with a big sign plastered across it. But the bit which is hard to miss is the entrance. So you walk around the base of the building, nice like L-shaped thing. Where's the bloody entrance? It's a lift hidden around a corner. And it is based across 2 floors. On the 5th floor, I think it is, you've got your die-cast, Gundams, etc. like that. But if you move down to the 4th floor, you've got airsoft, and in the back right-hand corner, you've got the RC stuff. But because it is a hobby shop which is open to all different style hobbies, the RC selection was kind of small, where it was a mixture between toy grade and hobby grade. But they did offer a few model kits. Oh no, they offered a few kits, a couple of pre-builts, a few toy grade stuff. But their parts selection, their upgrade parts selection seemed to be on par with the Tamiya store, which was a pretty good selection. And in that case, it did vary between, like I said, a load of different brands and Tamiya stuff. But it was a nice little selection to go through, and the prices weren't that bad either. Moving on to an honourable mention. Reason why it's not getting a proper mention in this video is it was kind of naff. It is Kyosho Village. It's in a shopping mall in Tokyo Bay. The shop itself was mostly made up of other branded products. When I say other branded products, like you had Tomiya and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's an subsidiary of Kyosho or so somewhat, but they also had a lot of like die casts and so on. But they did have a complete aisle dedicated to Mini Zs and a couple of RCs as well. So if you're looking for any Mini Z parts, they had a nice selection of spares, bodies, so on like that. They also had on the shelf behind the counter a bunch of retro looking boxes with buggies in them, but for stupid prices. The same boxes and kits we saw in Rakuten, like not double the price, but it was getting up there in price. But the one thing where it's really surprised me in there was there was a brand new inbox Kyosho Blizzard. Mine's just off the just off screen up there at the moment, but that was kind of a surprise because I thought that was a discontinued RC. But moving on to number 5. A lot of you are going to be screaming at your screens telling me this is not a model shop. Is Book Off. Book Off, Hard Off, Hobby Off, all the other names they go by. You will be correct. They're not a hobby shop. But they are a second-hand shop / thrift shop or wherever in the world you come from. Which means if you look hard enough, you will come across some bargains. Or nothing at all. On our holidays, we ended up going into about 15 or so of these over the 2.5 week period. And we came across some absolutely gold, from a new inbox built Tamiya Grasshopper to some unopened kits which look like they have been sat in the sun or looked like they were from the 90s, which were hidden in someone's cupboard, and even just random loose stuff, to the point we came across a fully intact, no scratches on the chassis, a TTO2 chassis, fully built, 40 quid, with all its electronics. Just a chassis. Which you're looking at the prices over here second hand, you're looking maybe 100. That's what people seem to want to sell them for. So you can still grab bargains over there. But you're most likely going to find these bargains further afield outside of Tokyo, Osaka and Kyoto. Same thing like back in the UK, it's slowly becoming a gamble because it's just like buying any other second-hand RCs on Facebook Marketplace, eBay. But I trust the Japanese more than resellers in the West to label stuff whether or not it is actually broken or so on. The only thing I will say is the shops themselves are now becoming similar to the shops back home when they are looking up prices online before listing or before putting them out on the shelves. So there is still gold to be so there is still gold to be found in them shops. But you may end up going to like 15 of them like we did before you found anything worth purchasing. So, I want to say thanks for watching. I hope you found this video interesting, as it's kind of something a little bit different than what I normally post, but I hope it helps for anyone who's planning their trip to Japan in 2025. Hopefully we'll be going back at some point soon, maybe in the next couple of years, to visit some more obscure locations, because there is a few tracks and a few other hobby model shops I want to visit. And I also want to visit, I can't remember what's the city called, but there is like a city where the Tamiya factory is based. So we would like to go back to that. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.